Hey friends, welcome to Post to Post. My name is Neil if you're new, and this is my official NHL playoff bracket prediction. I do this every single year, and at the end of the playoffs, I go back and review and to see how I did. Last year was a fun year because I not only did the prediction video, but I did a bracket of what I wanted to happen. And what I wanted to happen was actually more accurate than what I predicted. I'm going to do the same thing this year. After this video, you will see essentially the exact same video as this, but it's going to be what I want to happen, not what I predict. So stay tuned for that. If you're not subscribed, maybe you want to check that one out as well and join the channel here. So let's get up into this. I've brought up the first image here on my screen, and we're going to go through this one series at a time. Now, I will say that I'm not going to talk a lot about these first round matchups because I've already done so in depth in individual series preview videos. There's 8 on the channel I just released in the last 48 hours. Please go check those out if you want to learn more of why I'm choosing the team that I am. So I'm going to kind of scoot through these first round matchups. So first up, let's start off in the East. Let's go Florida versus Washington. If you watch that preview video, you will know that I did choose Florida, so let's move Florida on. The next one, let's go right down to the Tampa versus Toronto one. I am going to choose Tampa to move on there, so I'm predicting that we will see a Florida versus Tampa in the second round. Now, the next one, Carolina versus Boston. I think this is going to be an extremely close series, but I did choose or did predict Carolina to move on there. And then the series below that, the Rangers versus Penguins. I have Rangers going on. I know a lot of people have Pittsburgh going on, but I truly think that the Rangers are going to win that one. Let's stay on this side. Let's do the entire Eastern Conference first. So let's talk Florida versus Tampa Bay. I'll give a little bit of in-depth here, more than the first round, obviously, because I said I did this in the individual videos. Florida versus Tampa Bay, a revenge matchup for last year. Florida needs revenge, and this is the year that they can do it. Tampa Bay is going to put up a fight, but I maybe biasly believe that the Florida Panthers are going to defeat the Tampa Bay Lightning. I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa moved on, but I'm going to predict that Florida moves on past Tampa Bay. Moving on down to Carolina versus the Rangers. This is going to be a tough series to choose who I want to win, as well as choose who I'm going to predict to win. But I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb here. The Rangers are my dark horse team in the East, and I'm going to pick the Rangers defeating the Carolina Hurricanes. That's my official prediction. Now, Florida versus the Rangers in a conference final. I would be happy with either victory, with either team moving on. But like I said, the Rangers are my dark horse. I am going to predict an upset that the Rangers defeat the Panthers in the conference final and move on to the Stanley Cup final. So I've got the Rangers as the best team in the East this year coming out of the playoffs, going right into the finals. Let's move over to the West. So as you guys know from my series preview videos, you'll understand all these predictions. So Colorado, I have defeating the Nashville Predators. Moving on down, I've got Minnesota beating out St. Louis probably in like 7 games. Next up is Calgary versus Dallas. I do have Calgary beating Dallas. And then finally Edmonton versus LA. I've got the Rangers in the East. They're my dark horse, but guess who's the dark horse in the West? That is the LA Kings for me. I've predicted that the LA Kings are going to defeat the Edmonton Oilers in the first round. I'm sure I'm going to get some hate comments for that. That doesn't necessarily reflect what I want. Just remember that. It's just what I'm predicting. All right, let's continue on in the West. Let's do Calgary versus LA first. I think that although the LA Kings are my dark horse team, I think Calgary would defeat LA, and probably fairly quickly. I'm going to say like 5-6 games, something like that. So I'm going to choose Calgary to move on to the conference finals on the West. Now, Colorado versus Minnesota is an interesting one. I think the matchup is a lot closer than people think, even though there's a bigger point differential there. I'm going to choose Colorado, though. I'm going to go the easy direction. I think they have underperformed in the last couple of years in the playoffs, and they cannot allow that to happen this year again. So they're going on to the conference finals. Okay, so we got Calgary versus the Colorado Avalanche. Can Colorado do it? Can they finally get to the Stanley Cup final? Or even, like conference final would be a victory, I think, for the Colorado Avalanche. But no, I'm choosing the Calgary Flames. I'm choosing an upset, if you want to call it that, I guess. But, the Calgary Flames have been amazing this year. But I think most people would see that as an upset. I'm predicting that the Calgary Flames are going to go on to the Stanley Cup final. And there's going to be a matchup that I've not seen anyone else predict. Calgary Flames versus the New York Rangers for the Stanley Cup this year. I like to play a little bit risky, okay? I'm not doing Colorado versus Tampa in the finals. Statistically, logically, that's probably the best option, but I don't like to play those games. I like to play a little bit more of a risk. I think it's the reward is better when you play a little bit risky and one of those risky picks come true. I already know that I'm going to be wrong. I'm just doing this for fun, right? Not because I actually think I'm going to be right. I like just to take the risk. So I'm saying Calgary versus the Rangers in the finals. Now, Who's going to win this one? Well, dark horse, the Rangers. My choice for the Stanley Cup this year, who I'm going to predict, is the Rangers. That is my choice. The New York Rangers are going to be this year's Stanley Cup champion, and I can almost guarantee you that no one else out there is probably choosing the Rangers. Not because the Rangers are bad, but because there's so many other incredible teams that they'd have to go through to get there, whether it's Colorado or Calgary or whoever else in the Western Conference that they'd have to meet in the finals. Let's move back. You'd have to potentially defeat either Tampa or Florida, and then Carolina or Boston. Like, very difficult. Plus, they got to get through Pittsburgh in the first round. So, logically, it's probably not going to happen. But I don't care. I'm gonna take a risk here. The New York Rangers are going to win the Stanley Cup this year. That's my prediction. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Now, like I said, after this video is coming another bracket one where I'm going to tell you who I want to win. I don't necessarily want the Rangers to win the Stanley Cup. And I don't necessarily want, I don't necessarily want the Toronto Maple Leafs to lose in the first round. So if you're interested to see what I want to happen, who I actually want to win the Stanley Cup and win each series, please make sure you are subscribed. And if you're new, go down and hit the subscribe button, because that video may actually be more interesting than this one. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you did enjoy this video and you like me being a little bit risky, even if you disagree, please consider hitting the like button. That definitely helps the channel a lot. Hope you guys are having a really good day, enjoying the playoffs coming up, and I'll talk to you soon. Adios.